Hi, it's Toby from Heavyweight MMA today with Jamie Edenden. Off a good win over Janay Harding recently. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm on top of the world. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, so 16th of September, you fought Janay Harding on Beatdown Promotions 5. I think a lot of people would have been expecting Janay to win, having on paper she's got a good record. She's had quite a few more fights than you in MMA professionally.
Yeah.
But you turned it around and had quite a reasonably dominant win over her.
Yeah. Look, obviously going into the fight, there was only probably a handful of people that thought I was going to win. You know, my coaches and my teammates and my friends. And, there's probably a lot of my teammates that probably didn't think I was going to get it across the line either, just because of who she is and the caliber of fighter that she is. But, I mean, I put in the work and I had a good game plan. And yeah, as you said, I put on a completely dominant performance and, got the win.
So what sort of things were you happiest with implementing in the fight?
I went back to doing what I used to do. I mean, when I was an amateur, I was completely dominant, forward pressure, just throwing with 100% of everything I had. And when I turned pro, I kind of lost that a little bit, and I think I was kind of scared to lose in a lot of ways, thinking, if I lost, I'm one step back, I'm one step back, I'm one step back. So I kind of lost that aggressive nature in the way that I fought. So when I started this camp, I'm like, no, I'm going to go back to that, and it worked. So
nice, man. One thing I kind of noticed was that you seemed to maybe not have so much respect for her punches. It was like you just kind of didn't care, and like the commentators mentioned, it's hard to use feints and whatever when the person that you're fighting doesn't really care about getting hit by you.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm in the gym training with the likes of John Martin Fraser and Jake Piper, and those guys have knockout power, and I'm getting hit by them in the gym every day. So, I mean, a woman's going to have a lot of strength and a lot of power behind her punches to be able to stop me in my tracks. So, yeah.
And also, I remember talking last time, we mentioned how in your fights you were kind of boxing base and you would have liked to have probably implemented some other parts of your game. In that fight, you did some nice takedowns too to kind of mix it up. And when you can add the good hands together with that, it makes it more confusing for your opponent, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in my fights, I've never had to show an aspect of wrestling or any sort of ground game, and I've been working really hard on it. I mean, I've always had the good striking aspect, and I'm still building on that, but I never really had to show wrestling or BJJ or any kind of ground game. And when I had that fight against Sarah Collins last year, where she just held me down for the whole round, and I just had nothing, I committed to myself to come back and work on my wrestling, and I came out there last weekend and showed that I can wrestle too. And I didn't want to take it to the ground because, I like the violence of punching people in the face and kneeing them and kicking them. And if it comes to a point where I'm going to be in a situation where I have to use BJJ, then I will. But at the moment, it just wasn't needed in that fight. So.
Yeah. So Janay, obviously she's fought in Baleta quite a bit. She comes from the world-renowned CKB gym now. And so it must feel good. Like, what do you feel? What have you proved to yourself in that fight going forward?
I felt like fighting her was a massive statement, and beating her was a massive statement. She's come from, as you said, Bellator, and she's fought some world top level females. She's fought the best of the best, and she come back to Australia, and that puts her at number one in my division. So of course I wanted to get a win up over her, and to put on the performance I did just proves that I'm ready for that next level. And some people might argue that I'm still 2 to 3 fights away, but the reality is there's not 2 to 3 fights for me to have. I've got another fight in 5 weeks, and after that there's basically no one left. So all I'm asking for is an opportunity to get over there and showcase that I'm ready for that.
Yeah, true. Hey, on the other side, what things would you like to see yourself improve from the fight? Obviously we can always get good and bad from each fight, yeah?
Yeah, look, I obviously would like some more finishes on my record. When I was an amateur, I had 3 or 4 finishes. And, I mean, it's not through lack of trying. Like, I tried to finish her on the feed, and I would like to get some more finishes. And I just need to keep growing and evolving as a fighter and athlete, and keep working on working on the parts of my game that need work, like my ground game and the wrestling and the striking and just all of it. So just to keep leveling up is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to see, like some people just to keep active, taking up other parts of other sports and whatever, like you were doing, focusing on boxing a bit there. And then it's good to see that it actually comes to fruition inside the MMA ring as well. When I think of like John Wayne Parr as an example, was boxing for years. And then when he went back to Muay Thai, he used his hands a lot to a great effect. And obviously, the striking that you've been practicing with your hands is proving to work in the MMA ring as well. Your right hand obviously is probably your best weapon from what you can see. Just nice, straight, fast right on the counter, stepping back and countering. It was really good, man. But what do you think about that? It's true, right? That the boxing's kind of helped you out a bit.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you look at my first MMA fight to now, in my first MMA fight, I had no head movement. I was just going straight in and out with my head in the same place. And now to evolve that, like I think, I don't know, Janay might have hit me maybe 10 times the whole fight, and I was, my head movement was on point, and my counters were on point, and so the boxing has definitely helped to evolve my game, and it made my striking even more dangerous.
Yeah, and you in the last interview we had, it was about like a year ago. You mentioned about that you were doing like strength and resistance type training more often than probably most MMA fighters. Is that something you're still doing? Because you look very strong in there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have a really good coach on board now. His name's Jacob. He actually is based down in Tasmania. I met him when I went down there for the summer. He's absolutely incredible, and he's helped me. I mean, I've always been strong. I've been strong my whole life, basically, but he's really helped me become more explosive and faster off the line and give my punches a bit more pop. So I still do that. I still training every day, and getting that strength work in is a massive part of my camp.
I'd like to see that right leg kick work a little bit more, because you've got a nice flowing sort of kick. Obviously, you had some Muay Thai fights earlier on before you kicked off into the pro MMA, and I'd just like to see that used a little bit more explosive right leg kick, because it looks strong, but you didn't throw it many times, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was funny when I used to fight Muay Thai. My old Muay Thai coach used to write on my hand wraps, kick more, because I never used to kick. I just always want to throw hands. And I know that it is a massive part of my game that's missing. I've got massive legs and I actually kick super hard. But something in my head, I just want to hit people with my fists. So, but yeah, I agree with you. I definitely want to bring it into my game more. It's just, I just wasn't sacrificing that right hand because it was working. So.
And your round kicks, like your low kicks, seem to be more damaging, like than Janay's kicks, as an example. But you just weren't throwing them as much. Like she landed a few, but yours looked damaging when you did land.
Yeah, I mean, I was landing a couple here and there, but I was kind of more waiting for her to throw hers. I was kind of baiting her to throw her so then I could step in with my right hand. So. I mean, her kicks did hurt. They were hard kicks, but they weren't doing enough damage to stop me in my tracks or to stop me from coming forward or putting weight on the leg.
Yeah, and you mentioned just a minute ago about wrestling and BJJ and submissions. You're going to have a big chance to do that coming up in your next fight, which is Saturday, October 28th, against, I don't know how to say the name. I'll say Gase Sanita.
I think that's pretty good. Yeah.
She's got a great grappling record, and obviously that's what she looks to do in an MMA fight. So what's the plan coming up to that fight?
Yeah, I mean, look, if they're going to have a plan to keep it on the feet, I don't think that's very smart of them to do that, only because, Gase is a little bit shorter than me, and there is different levels to striking, but her wrestling and her jiu-jitsu is elite, and I'm training for that. I've got a gym full of black belts and brown belts and, the likes of David Martinez and those sorts of guys. So, having them hang off my back and around my neck, and I'm going to be ready. So, I hope she brings that strong game so I can prove that I'm ready for anything.
Yeah, it's going to be that. She's going to dive for the legs. It's almost guaranteed, right? She always stays low and then shoots in low, and like you said, just mentioned Dave Martinez. That's what he's going to be able to play that part perfectly for you, right?
Yeah, I think Dave, the last time I sparred Dave, he shot from about 5 meters away from me and still got me down.
That's scary. Hey, I was going to ask too, the year ago when we talked, you were working 3 jobs and training as a professional. Is that still ongoing?
Hell no. I'm not sure if you've heard through the grapevine, but I actually invested in my gym Ignite. So I'm one of the owners now up here. So I'm able to work in the gym, train in the gym full time, give 100% to my craft. So the 3 jobs is done and dusted.
So now it's kind of like almost 2 jobs, right? You've got your professional fighting career plus kind of gym duties and whatnot, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm still working in the gym. I'm still working full time in the gym, teaching classes and PTs and all that sort of thing. But it's definitely freed up a lot of time for me to be able to get my training in without being exhausted from 3 jobs,
That's perfect. Then it's all related to your field as well. So it's much better. Good to hear that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So anything changed in your preparation and training these days since we talked last? It was a long time ago. Any new things that you've kind of brought into training?
Not really. I'm still just on the grind. I'm still trying to work on the wrestling and the BJJ, and it's great that I haven't had to use any jiu-jitsu yet. But I mean, in my next fight, as you said, I'm sure it's going to come up, and everyone will be able to see that side of my game. But yeah, I'm just, as I said, working on the speed and the power. I've always had the strength there. I'm just trying to execute it better. So it's just working on that with my strength coach as well.
When you say about the BJJ, it just reminds me that you said your gi was sitting in a plastic bag in the shed somewhere. Is that still the case, or have you busted the gi out since then?
My gi is actually right behind me. Where is it? There. It's okay. It's just on a coat hanger for show right now. But yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, it's upgraded from the bag to a coat hanger, so maybe we'll put it on maybe by the end of the year.
It's progressed. Maybe in a few years it'll get some use. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. I doubt it, but we'll see.
Cool. All right, Jamie, I just wanted to have a quick catch up and see how traveling. Congratulations on the great win and your upward trajectory, and looking forward to your fight against Sanita on Saturday, October 28th.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Take it easy.
Thank you very much. See ya.
Bye.